draft and see whether there are dragons in the jungle or not. Because I'm very curious. I would just like to see the Canyon version.
Yeah, it's definitely happening, and maybe now we get to see how it's supposed to be played, because we don't have any screen info, but I'd be willing to bet that GENG picked it a few times and people lost to it and were like, this is it, this is the thing.
They do like experimenting with the flavor of the month stuff, and they also really like farming junglers. Or, I mean, and by they, I mean Canyon.
Yeah. I love the Vi ban. I think that this is a sign of respect that has to be paid. I think Raptor is a great Vi, and it's, again, mostly about how it facilitates what BNK wants to do. I think Raptor's AP junglers have also been fine, but BNK doesn't look quite as sharp if they don't have access to it. And this is the unfortunate reality. We can't even be mad about this Nidalee ban. Like,
is it first pick Shyvana though? Because based on what we just heard in the interview, if Nidalee's been taken away, then Shyvana is just too strong. Well, Renekton is Rumble. Oh, okay, so Rumble. That's a wait.
But they get Shyvana.
But at least they don't get Renekton.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting choice, and I'm kind of wondering what the thought process was for GENG behind this, because the Renekton obviously, the Keen can play a bunch of things into Renekton. Might be looking to try some new stuff out into the Rumble, as is of course on the
picking trees into fire is a weird choice.
So I guess we're not
Maokai Trist.
We're not getting Shyvana. It's just going to be like Maokai. Yeah, maybe Trist. I'm not sure. Maybe you want to pick a top laner here and then counter pick for mid.
Yeah, you could just pick Jace. I think King could probably navigate the Jace matchup, but it's still rough. We haven't necessarily seen Jace have a good time into the Rumble. Rumble's just really strong. He was nerfed a lot. Okay, it's going to be a Yordle off. We've got the Kennen coming in, and I'm not a huge fan, especially not when it's Kennen and the Maokai, who's likely going to be building full tank. It's a lot of AP. As there's the Shyvana that we were talking about, and Lucian going to be the blind pick for a closer perhaps, and that is going to be locked away. Chovy, I mean, we know that he just really likes playing Draven, so he's going to hover that for the moment.
Look at Closer's face as well, and it makes sense. Lucian, one of his biggest strengths is his laning and how oppressive it is. But you can't really win 1v1 trades against Draven. Just, you get outstatted.
And you do all these fun dashing around things, and you're double tapping, and then Chovy just hits him with an axe, and then trade lost.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also not that much jungle pressure this time around, because you are playing a Shyvana, so post 6 you'll be fine, but pre 6 definitely hard to really make an impact in that mid lane. I can't believe that, like, there were eras of League where the Maokai could have gone in like 3 different roles.
Yeah.
Then we have Cannon, that one's normal, but the fact that Chovy's just playing AD mids now, and that's just a thing that we have to accept until they get nerfed, and maybe that might not even be enough, are going to get hit on the next patch, which will, I think, also be a playoff patch, but at least for week 8 and 9. That's definitely what we're going to be looking towards. As the Nautilus going to get taken away, I think the Kalista incredible ban. Both Paze has literally broken records on that one. And he wasn't even the main character, because it was just about how he enabled Lehens by pressing R.
And speaking of enabling Lehens, he could still be doing that if there is a Senna lock-in. That could make us a little bit confused about where the Maokai is going. Because I wouldn't mind if Canyon sort of, instead of playing Maokai, played something with a bit more pressure in the jungle. There are certainly some other things that are still up and available.
Is it a Senna ban? I actually really like that, now that you mention it. Alternatively, ban like...
Yeah, I like the Senna ban.
I was looking like Braum or Alistair, but I think this is great.
MF? Because you could just lock MF, and then MF and Maokai is actually a pretty decent duo lane, so
Cannon
you can keep that sort of option open.
Oh, I like the, for the support. Yeah, if they end up locking Rakan, Maokai support is completely fine. Like, technically, they could even still flex the Draven.
True.
Like, Chovy can just play Zeri mid, which doesn't feel like it should be a thing, but he would.
And he also he has done it, and it didn't look great. So I'm hoping that he does.
He did go like 9 and 3, right? I know
he went 9 and 3. But he also did that like dash into death type move.
3 times at least.
Yeah, it was not great. But he also just, it looked like he was having a really good time on the Rift. So I'm not going to judge him for it. Henna and Duro, what are we going to be locking in here? That's the Kai'Sa.
Kai'Sa,
That feels on
Rel?
theme for B&K.
I think Rel feels great here, right?
Yeah.
It's going to go Rel, and then
Alistair would
Lance
be
probably
fine
goes... Yeah, I think Lehens ends up going Ali. Dura's going to blind Alistair. Okay, so going to play that. Obviously also plays well into the Rel in case that's what Lance would want to play. And then I imagine Lehens just goes Rakan, unless he wants to do a crazy Lehens counter pick, but...
Or play Maokai.
Also possible. Yeah.
Or play Kennen.
Okay, well, I don't...
We're just very confused. They just, like, lock Ashe. No, Ashe is banned. So they can't do that. It's just Lulu.
All right.
So we've got a bit of a classic lane there towards the bottom side.
Yeah, that makes the bot lane really bad for B&K. That's not going to be fun, unfortunately. And Raptor, again, won't be expected to have that much laning pressure. So I'm looking at this, and it looks like you have 3 losing lanes into GENG. And obviously top lane, I think, is the most volatile. I think that Rumble doesn't do that well into ranged matchups, but it's not like Rumble isn't completely bonkers. So Claire may be still able to pull through in that matchup, but you have at least 2 losing lanes, and you have a Shyvana, so I'd be a little bit worried. And
yeah.
GENG with winning lanes, that's just generally not a great thing to play into Atlas.
And it's also Lehens on the Lulu as well. He's been phenomenal on this champion. Ever since especially the knock-up speed as well being increased, the engage Lulu that he has been using with, of course, the help of Canyon has been very, very impressive. So I'm a little bit worried for how B&K are going to be able to navigate fights later on, just with how plug-and-play GENG's composition is in these team fights, right? You have the Maokai press R, and then you all kind of go in, and then there's so much consistent damage with the Draven and the Zeri that you should be able to get things done. But B&K do have a lot of cool stuff. They've got an equalizer. They've got another equalizer in the Dragon. If you press W and then Dragon Descent, you basically leave behind an equalizer, right? That's pretty much how it works. And then you breathe a whole bunch of fire circles all over the place. There is a lot of AoE damage from B&K for GENG to deal with. We'll see how they deal with it as we jump into the Rift for game number 1.
세상사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Oh, GENG fans in full voice here today as Raptor is getting chased out of his jungle somewhat. Oh, the purple fire Shyvana. Shyvana's got some cool skins.
Yeah, sure he does.
Like, really, like, there's a lot of them.
I don't like the splash art for this one, but I do like the...
In-game, it's really cool.
Yeah, in-game, I think it's very dope. So I'm going to not talk too much about it until it actually comes close, and I feel like most likely GENG is going to 2-0. So Pace getting to 22 kills isn't actually that likely over the course of 2 games.
He did do 28 in a game.
Yeah, well, we were there.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that is... It's not likely, right? It's possible. He's playing Zeri. Not saying can't happen.
Are you saying that there's possibly a time where we talked about him getting to 1,000 kills like maybe the next series that they play? Is that what you're saying?
That's my feeling, yeah. I feel like that's a little bit more realistic. But just to set up, there are a bunch of records that he would be breaking that are kind of insane. We'll revisit it.
It's not even that he would be breaking. It's that he will be breaking.
Yeah, realistically, they are going to get broken. It's just about to which extent. As
all right, Pay's just going to get headbutted here as good old level 1 Cow. Not exactly feeling too powerful as Chovy is doing that throwing axes thing.
He is spinning.
At him.
Yeah, do not approach.
Yeah, does he ever get to approach though is the real question, and the answer is yeah.
No. Well, if jungle shows up, you know, or clear roams from top, that'll do it.
Yep, perhaps. Just make it a 2v1.
That helps a lot. Yeah, Draven is, of course, stationary, but your ganks are not the best because you're playing with a Shyvana.
Yeah. As Keen pushing clear out of this lane just a little bit as well.
Oh. I think he might go... I don't know.
It's press the attack.
Well,
so yeah, it's on him.
I think it's most likely, especially Keen loves his ranged AD top champions. I don't know 100% certain yet, but I think it is definitely... most likely with this type of setup that he will just... Like, Doran's Blade is normal. I think you could argue, like, Cannon, his current keystones are kind of whatever. Usually they go Conqueror, right? Just kind of go... yeah, I feel like Airy has kind of been dropped because Airy as a rune right now is just not that good.
Electrocute Cannon.
Yeah.
As Pace has had barrier. But I don't think that's the end of the world, because as you can see, there is a concave of minions just dying to this turret, as Chovy is continuing to be annoying here. And okay, almost goes into turret range. That could have been dicey, but now Close is going to be sent home. There's not going to be any way for him to really lane against Chovy here, who does still have Flash available. And he is also backing, does have Teleport, of course, but that wave is going to fully crash. And it's 9-25.
So that was an amazing little piece of visual storytelling from the observers there, because what happened is the moment after Chovy goes in, you get the ward from Lahens. So Chovy knew for a fact that there was zero risk because they had eyes on Raptor, because he was doing the Krugs. So just with that short little pan, you see the reasoning as to why Chovy was like, like, you know, you win the all-in, right? It's not about winning.
I think it's just showing that Lahens wins all lanes.
Oh, so it's just...
So he's not only as responsible for PaZe's development.
I was about to say.
But also responsible for Chovy being able to go for all lanes in the mid lane.
Chovy never used to win lane.
No.
No.
Not until the Hens came along. And in fact, I don't think I saw Chovy winning lanes until he was playing on the same team as Lahens.
Well, that's definitely technically true.
There we go. As he's going to continue to do so, once again, Closer is going to press the B button and just hope that there are some minions left over when he does make his way back. There is a cannon in this wave, but Chovy is just going to get further and further ahead. And we haven't really seen the Lucian pick be ridiculously punished so far, but this is looking about as close as that gets.
Yeah, this is it. This is the punish. We're witnessing it. This is a cannon wave, so I think he'll be able to get a good amount of it. Yeah, thank you, Observer.
Thank you very much, Jonas Strong. We can see he has a lot of farm.
Actually, a double at that point, which is a little bit unreasonable. As mentioned, I do think that we will see Closer pick up most, but yeah, things are not looking good. And this is one of the most underrated parts of GENG when we talk about why they're good. Chovy used to be the guy that by far the best CSing in the league, right? There was a reason why his stats were insane, and like part of that was because he absorbed a lot of resources, but also he just doesn't miss lost hits in lane. And I feel like the rest of GENG, so much more than last year or the year before that, have really started embracing that as well. Like PaZe and Keen, their stats are just nuts. Like, they just don't miss lost hits. And like a large part of that is, of course, because they're playing well and they're having pressure in lane. But there's plenty of teams that are good at laning and aren't able to consistently get these giant gold leads. Nothing has happened, and they're up 800 gold.
Yeah, that's just sort of how it is. As Chovy did lose out on a trade there momentarily, so Close is able to at least get a little bit back, especially now that he has a few buttons under his belt. And Piercing Light having about 3 points in it will also help him. But that is going to be a Drake secured here by Canyon. It's been a bit quiet so far this game. Looks like Grubs are going to be the trade on Raptor's mind. He should be able to collect those. It looks like it's not going to be with any sort of contest, as we can see right now. But denying Drake's certainly a good move. Is now Chovy in trouble. Culling's going to come in. There is a solo kill for Closer.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming.
No, I didn't. That was not bingo card, not ready.
I guess we put a little bit too much praise onto Chovy, and he decided to prove us wrong. So power to him for that one. And Closer keeping his composure. And obviously the level 6 spike of Lucian is very deadly. And now things are looking fine. You get the first blood, you get the grubs.
It's a lot of stacks also
Raptor
removed.
Gets to do his favorite thing of getting Raptors. As you were taking out a look, just gets the PTA very easily, and then Chovy.
Yeah, sidesteps the stand aside. That was actually the winning play.
Yeah, doesn't get the calling cancelled. And Chovy flashes in the extended line of battle and gets gunned down. Very nicely done there by Closer. Kind of recuperating what was a relatively rough early game, even though nothing had happened, just in terms of laning phase.
Yeah, now down to 100 stacks here on the Adoration. We're still relatively early into the game, and Chovy's just going to have to kind of zone in here. See whether he can get back on track. As we have a look down towards the bottom side, PaZe is going to ult, will get exhausted immediately. Of course, Duro having that because he needs it into a cannon. Maybe doesn't need it into this cannon, because this cannon has Berserker's Greaves. And so now Duro has exhaust, and that is definitely good, especially into PaZe, who is going to do that big explosion thing and then try to pop off. But Still maybe feeling a little bit silly because, you know, it is sort of the Kennen tax at this point in time to take the exhaust.
But if this ends up working out, and obviously BNK, they're a good team, but they're a middle-of-the-pack team. And Rumble is still insanely strong. But leaving this opening game 1 and being like, okay, Keen, we're going to try out this PTA on-hit Kennen. If it works, we might be considering leaving up Rondo. And opening up a ban on Rat side is actually huge.
Yeah.
Like that's a big win. Because again, as we talked about, GENG, I don't think they're looking at Worlds, but I do 100%, because they said it in the interview, no, they're looking at playoffs, right? Like for this team, it's about winning and not kind of getting ahead of yourself and being like, okay, we've already done his Chovy.
Yeah, Cullen going to come through. This time the stand aside is going to land, but there's the flash forward from Closer. Not going to go too far, but Chovy is still once again just pushed out of the lane.
Closer doing such a good job here on the Lucian.
Well,
Bot lane might be in trouble.
Nature's Grasp coming in here as Duro going to try and block it. Doesn't manage to do so as Duro is just going to get cut down where he stands. Killer Instinct is actually just Survival Instinct. And it's a double kill for Pays as Canyon will die. Thought that maybe he got out of the turret aggro by using the Twisted Advance. Unfortunately, wasn't the case.
Only 20 more, Atlas.
There we go.
Good start there for Pace. Nicely done by Canyon. Ends up going down with a 1-for-2 trade. And the wave being crashed and the blades coming through as great as Raptor.
Yeah, throws a big circle in there. That equalizer could have been placed slightly better. But that's still going to be a plate going on over to clear. And Keen just going to teleport back to this lane as Raptor slinks away.
Man, a proactive Shyvana.
Yeah.
Good for you, Raptor. I actually really like that because obviously tougher to respond when the E is coming out of the Fog of War. So take another look at this play. Man, that combination of them getting the root into the immediate 1-2 setup, really nicely done them there. Yeah, Canyon, a little unfortunate there.
Yeah, kind of feel like he should have been out of the woods, but
I think,
unfortunately
yeah, it might be that like he did it a little bit too early so that the next turret shot wasn't primed yet and then would miss. I'm not 100% sure, but does end up going down there. Again, not the end of the world. Pace gets the 2 kills. That's really what you care about. And that lane swap to deny the possible 6 grubs to come through here.
Yeah, and also a couple of plates going over to Pays on top of it all. He is still, you know, over 20 CS ahead. And so even though Chovy has had a little bit of an unfortunate situation in the mid lane, it does not matter because the rest of the map is dominating in just general GENG fashion. As now Canyon looking for another opportunity here. They'll try to lock down Raptor. He's flashing away, but Pays just comes in, says special delivery. That's going to be the kill. Wild Growth to save Canyon, and it's 4. And so now we're 18 away. Chronicle, I think we might be getting there. I don't know. I think the certification is definitely in. Like, I think Wolf has written that one down.
Oh, you know he brought a stamp. And he's stamping it right this moment on the space. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, it feels like more so than normal as well. They're really giving. You could have given the kill to the Draven with 200 stacks. I feel like that.
Oh no, he needs more stacks than that.
He was there.
It's about the next team fight, maximizing the execute damage. I think that's much more important, Chronicler. I think I'll have you know.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. At this point, with how fed they're getting, as we see here, a little bit of overconfidence from BNK trying to contest. That is definitely a tall ask. And for GENG, it's so easy. Kenny just throws out the ultimate. There isn't really any way here for Hannah to join because by the time that he would be in Killer Instinct range, the fight's basically lost. And things weren't looking too bad, but they're rapidly deteriorating here, unfortunately, for BNK. This is, again, not only do GENG do a great job of getting all the creeps on the map, but they're also doing a great job of ensuring that they crash every wave, deny you minions, and now Pays is 2.6k gold ahead.
He is many, many Ks of gold ahead, and still gigantic amounts of CS as well, like basically every metric. He is just doing a really good time, and Pays might get an inner turret, because there are 4 people in the top lane.
No, that shouldn't be a thing though. That's not...
I mean, it might be a thing though.
No, he's definitely getting it, but I feel like that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Okay, inner turret, 12.5 minutes.
Now he's 3k gold ahead.
Well, he doesn't get plates because an inner turret doesn't have them, so checkmate. Yeah,
So
see?
have you ever heard about Nepo babies, Atlas?
What the heck is that?
Okay, so you know nepotism, right?
Yeah.
So in music and in art in general, a Nepo baby is someone that like has famous parents. So they have parents that are
yep.
actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So FaZe is the League of Legends equivalent of that. But and truly, you know, I'm one of the biggest FaZe fans, have been for 2 years. I think this guy is incredible. I think he is a insanely talented AD carry, and he definitely has done an exceptional job of filling in for the shoes of a ruler, which is that's not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely
But
not.
he also has played his entire career with Chovy. And that already alone, that's
Hey, but he
enough.
hasn't been with Lehens the whole time,
No,
because he was with Delight.
Yeah, so exactly.
So, you know, it's like really different.
The players that this man has played with are Doran, who, you know, like you can criticize, but Doran has been one of our world's representatives many a time for good reason.
Just give me 1 second. He might be getting another kill. Yeah, the Wild Growth comes in. He's throwing out some burst fires. Wanted to get Lehens harpooned a little bit, and Henna's just going to run away. Yep, that's kill number 5.
Yeah.
So you were saying?
So I was saying, the only players he's played with are Doran Peanut, Chovy, Canyon, Keen, Lehens, and Delight.
Yeah. He did. Okay. So
all of which are LCK champions. A lot of which are world champions.
True. Yeah. There's look, it's a decent group of players
the only
to come in, but. Okay, let's have a look at this team fight momentarily, as Duro's going to throw down the Unbreakable Will. That is going to be at least the Rift Herald secured, and now teleport's coming in. Could be a big angle for an equalizer, and there it is. Canyon has to flash away. FaZe gets exhausted, still does so much damage as Keen is just launching these auto attacks towards B&K, and Clear's gonna have to flash out the back of the pit, but I don't know whether they're out of the woods just yet. That's a great flame spitter, but unfortunately, that's gonna be a cash in for Chovy. About 900 gold going over to the Draven, as now Henna with the Acathian Rain trying to fly that one through, but he's just dead. Stand aside, young man. Chovy's gonna cut him down.
Yeah, so that's the unfair part, is he's playing with these guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fair, Atlas!
He's now 6-0-3 as well, as far as Zeri certifications are concerned. Like, this is called overqualified.
Oh, and I like this idea from Clear, you know, it's the classic setup. You're a Rumble, you're pretty strong at this point in time, you find the Lulu face checking, but FaZe is there. And then this fight actually, I think, ends up closer than what I initially expected. We see an initial attempt to disengage, but then they think they have the angle with a really nice teleport here. So a lot of damage goes down in the canyon, but again, the equalizers just haven't really been great. And I don't think there is that much setup, but you want to try and at least coincide with your Alistair, right? And unfortunately for B&K, Keen also has teleport, so he's just there. And they're just not able to get onto Zeri, way too slippery. Really nice flash there from Keen to ensure that Raptor and Henna don't get the opportunity to fully clean up the fight. And Henna, I think...
Why are we walking
Okay,
in
so he doesn't have vision, so he doesn't know
But there were
that...
minions just above.
No, yeah, I know, but he doesn't know that Keen and FaZe... Like, FaZe was already running down. He thought Keen and FaZe were there. So if he does... Like, Raptor has the empowered recall.
So he thought he was dead anyway.
He thought he was dead anyway and, like, try to get... Which I think is fine.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Because, yeah, it looks really silly, but... If you think Keen and FaZe are behind you, like, you probably don't want to give the kill to either. Yeah, I don't know, Atlas.
That's a big number. Big red number here for FaZe.
I love being Kim, and they're like, we can brawl, we can win this one, boys.
Well, they might be brawling. That's going to be a decent equalizer this time around as well, but FaZe is free hitting. That's another Nature's Grasp to keep them in position. The Whirling Death not quite doing as much damage this time around, but now we're looking for an angle. Closer not really finding the culling, and they just decide to turn and destroy the Shyvana. She just goes down. Clear is also dead. Keen wasn't even there. And now FaZe is just fighting. There's a turret. That's possibly going to help, but doesn't really. And Keen's still going. He's still going. Another one to be taken here on the bottom side. It's not 20 minutes yet, Chronicler.
So FaZe is currently at 8, so he's only 14 away. So I think we can talk about that.
We might get there in the series, yeah.
Yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And so you were going to talk about you know, the other players that have made 1,000 kills in this amount of time frame.
So as we already saw coming into the game, kill per game rankings for players with over 100 games, like the average, were Dade in Pace is third, Space was fourth. But if I'm reading this correctly, they're like 6K gold up, right? So
yeah, they are.
I feel like this fight is fairly self-explanatory. Although I think that BNK...
I mean, the wild growth from Ends, absolutely gorgeous as well.
Canyon using the invulnerability there, dashing in, and then lands with the follow-up. GENG used the Lehens as an engage tool, quote-unquote, really, really well. But that was also, a lot of that was during the open era of League of Legends, so you also play
more like the tournament era.
So you play against weaker opponents as well, right? So those stats are hard to directly compare. The currently youngest player with 1,000 LCK kills is, shocker, Faker. Who hit it at 20 years and 65 days old. And the fewest games to 1,000 kills in the LCK was also Faker with 207. So Pace is 18 and 240 days, so he's approaching 19, but again, he is 14 kills away from breaking this record. So that's definitely happening. The question is to what extent and how fast. And then Pace will be about 20 games ahead. I think it's a little bit less. And he's hunting Atlas.
Yeah, he's just sort of dancing in there. Duro is going to be able to walk through the base gate. He should be all right. You can see that Raptor is just going to try and pretend that his base doesn't exist. Understandably, too, as Keen. That sidestep is kind of sexy. And it's not really going to mean too much. He's building towards his wit's end now. Headbutt Pulverize here from Duro. And he realizes that perhaps fighting this is not the way, as now Henna also realizing that doing battle with this guy is not really the plan.
Doesn't it?
As Clear's coming in, Chovy's down there as well. Equalizer is decently placed, but Twisted Advance will make sure that Chovy cashes in yet again. Culling to fly on over. Canyon will absorb all of it. There's another one as the Whirling Death flies on over, and Duro is executed. GENG now just grouping up as 4. Keen has decided that he just wants to be in the bottom lane. That's where he wants to exist, as the flash forward from Paze onto Henna after getting the slow, really nicely done. But they're now between two turrets. It's a little bit awkward. Walks onto the flame patch as Paze has the barrier. That's going to keep him alive as he goes over the wall. And
he might be dead.
He might. He doesn't have flash. There are no minions because the inner turret isn't dead yet. I think he should have skate. Once again, there's the Killer Instinct. That's 1,000 gold to Henna. Make it more as Canyon goes down as well. And the young man maybe bit off more than he could chew.
Okay, you know how often these players are like, yeah, I don't really care about hitting record milestones. Like, it really doesn't matter. I guarantee you right now, Pace like, guys, I need more. I need more kills. Give them all to me.
Well, maybe if he allows Henna to shut him down, then BNK goes for more fights.
Longer games,
then they can get more kills. Exactly right. BNK are now looking for a Baron, though. And it's looking like perhaps they'll be able to get it, as Keen does have his flash available. But remember, this is AD cannon. This is the on-hit variety, and not one that can just go in and AoE them all down.
Chovy has his ult.
Yeah, let's see whether he can actually land it here, though, as that's just going to be that. The Baron goes down, and BNK, they get even more. As okay, we're stopping some of the backs here, as Keen will be able to at least force them to move.
Yeah, he's not going to let them back.
Well, that means that Chovy should be able to... Okay, thought that maybe they were backing in this brush, wanted to guarantee that he stops it if they were.
I love auto attack cannon, man. Look at him throw shurikens.
I mean, AD Cannon is like one of my favorite AD carries. He's so fun to play. The auto attack animation, I don't know, for some reason it just hits right. And then they lowered his range, and then it was really, really hard to play. But it was really good that time in Season 2. As now Paze, this is like, he was feeling it. Like, he was completely, like, this was pure flow state for this Zeri player. And in this moment, everything looks brilliant. But it goes a little bit topsy-turvy. Yep, Lehen's just calling out. Paze is like, I'm going to flash over, I'll follow.
괜찮아. 우리가 이겨. 나 커드레 있어서 하나.
It's okay, we win. I have ult. It'll be fine. He ults himself. They grab that
반응은 안 되고 이러면.
What are you doing?
아니 뭐 어쩔 건데. 좋아.
What are you gonna do, dude?
아니
Yo.
미친놈 아니야 이거.
You're crazy, man.
난 모르는 일이야.
I don't know, man. Chovy very perplexed about what happened there, but obviously not judging too much, as FaZe is still massively fed, so it doesn't even really matter. They still have a Baron though to BNK, and they're looking to grab some more bounties as Canyon will try and stop them. There's just the tree, as now Chovy will follow on in. Canyon twisted advancing forward, Killer Instinct to make sure that Henna stays alive, and he does manage to take down the tree, but look at these health bars. They are melting! And so's Keynes, he's gonna have to get out of there. Whirling Death is gonna secure the kill onto the Shyvana as Duro's slowed down. Hayes will get the flash out as he's now skating after him. Duro knows that he's dead. It's a double for Chovy. And GENG, I think, may have dealt with the Baron push relatively well, but still, the gold has moved to what? Okay, maybe Closer dying here is going to be a problem. The burst fire is not necessarily connecting, though, as, okay, just walk, and it'll be fine.
Oh, if only Lehens didn't flash over that wall.
They have Mountain Soul, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean we're not.
I don't remember when that happened.
We're not talking about the game.
Oh, there it happened then. It was in the replay.
Yeah. So BNK go for a very aggressive push here. They're at this point only 8k gold behind, thanks to the Baron.
Yeah.
Which is great. Actually, on a really good exhaust here onto Pace. I think they also space nicely around Keen, who can't go as aggressive because he's not actually an AP threat. We see him getting as many orders as he possibly can. And then here Duro gives himself over to ensure that Henna and Closure do, in fact, actually end up making it out, which is really nice. I imagine Pace didn't have to see as
Raptor is perhaps in trouble.
some might say. Yeah, he is, in fact.
We don't need the replay. I can just let you guys know that the Shyvana thought that her jungle was her jungle and was wrong. And GENG killed her. That's how that one worked. Ardent Sensor completed for Lehens, has had that for quite some time actually, but really knows that it's all about buffing up these 80 carries, all three of them.
Lehens also sitting on an ice cold, in a game as messy as this, sitting on a...
The 0-18.
Yeah, 100% kill participation.
Not too
This
bad.
game is funny, Atlas. I'm having a great time.
I feel like GENG are doing a bit of playing with their food, but BNK able to find a couple of angles here, just showing that they can't be disrespected.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about, we haven't really talked about the 8-1 Draven.
Yeah.
He did die that one time in the solo.
I mean, he got solo boloed by Closer.
That's still a win. Closer can take that one and be very happy about it.
Oh, 100%. As now Raptor is going to find Canyon. Or is
Hello.
Canyon going to find Raptor? As
can't
Hex
be-
Flash, Duro. Haha, I'm here. As the Dragon just dives in. Okay. We'll get polymorphed immediately, and that's Chovy getting another one. That is 9 kills on the day so far. And Pace, I think, is probably going to be a little bit upset because now he's not star of the show, I guess, based on the kill numbers. And now GENG are going to move towards his top side. Keen just saying, well, I haven't died all game, so he's still feeling pretty good about the state of things. And now the first inhibitor turret will be going down. Second, I tell a lie. Bottom lane inhibitor turret just hasn't existed for quite some time. As another Nature's Grasp coming in, the utilization of that ability from Canyon so far has been brilliant, as Keen is possibly going to die for the first time, but no. He's just going to be able to move back with the rest of the team, and this inhibitor will be taken out. So 2 inhibs do go on over. And Baron going to be spawning in 45 seconds, and then the Elder at 2.5 minutes. And that is what we're going to be fighting over next.
So if Pace can get 5 kills in this game, you know, it doesn't even have to be a penta. Maybe it's over the course of 2 plays. But realistically, the inhibs are down. It's one more fight, and then it's kind of donezo. Then he only needs 9 in the next game. That's doable, Atlas.
I reckon that's doable.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the call was here with Raptor. Obviously, you do have a little bit of CC when you go in with the Shyvana like that.
I think when you're playing Shyvana, I think most of the time you just want to be a dragon.
Well, no, 100%, yeah.
And so he wanted to be a dragon in the most epic way possible, which is diving towards the bad guys.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what I always think when I play Shyvana, and then
I know.
happens.
I was going to say, like, I feel like if anyone can explain exactly why he made that move, it's you. I've seen it happen in our games. It does. You're often carrying though.
Wow.
In those moments, I do have to say. As Canyon, he's not, but he's going to get a massive knockup with the help of Lahans. The Nature's Grasp comes out and he does fall, but it's in trade for the enemy AD carry. Now Lahans, what? Okay. And now Pays is dashing on over. Closes flashing out. Remember, there are not very many defensive structures left here for B&K, and those axes do too much damage. Chovy for a Draven that got solo killed in lane. Clear is thinking about doing the Marin thing, you know, where he's holding the wave and stuff like that, but there are lots of waves that need holding. And B&K, it's going to be a struggle to not lose the game right here. 10-1 and 10 for Pays at the end of this one. And 22 assists for Lahans in a 22-kill game. I think he'll take that as Pays is tanking up the turret. We'll see whether they can get any parting kills here as Chovy on the fountain. Clear going to go down. That's another kill for Pays. And another assist for Lahans, which is the main thing, as Chovy is feeling a lot tankier than he has any right to be with this Mountain Soul, as Keen just presses Slicing Maelstrom because he can. The Nexus is exposed. They can kill it whenever they want, and they decide that it is right now. As GENG understandably pick up the win, but it was a bit of a Harlem Globetrotters, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that was a montage. You know, that's...
Yeah, it looked like a victory lap before they'd even won one game in the series. You know?
Credit to B&K.
Look at Mata. He's like, what am I going to say to these guys?
Yeah. I don't know what you say to these guys after that. GENG.
Tell you what, I like the on-hit cannon though. That was actually very, very good.
No, and obviously we've mostly been preoccupied with Pays about to be a record breaker, with the silliness of that game. But that is legitimately, to me, I don't know if they're going to bring that out, but just incepting the other top-tier teams being like, if you can pick Rumble, that's okay.
You can pick Shyvana.
Yeah, well...
I guess everyone's kind of okay with
teams
that.
have already done that to themselves.
That's a
They're
good
like...
Oh, God.
Raptor doesn't even... he doesn't even get the... But I have the highest damage.
What is that DPM, though? Is that like
Pays?
1.8?
Yeah, it's not okay. So this is why... This is why Lulu got... I obviously...
Wait, why does 23k damage in a 23-minute game look low? Why does it look low?
I don't know, Atlas!
Oh my God, I'm so bothered. Okay, I'm going to be very bothered, but thankfully I get to go on a quick break. We're going to have the space after that. I'll be bothered during that, and then we will be back for game number 2. I'll see you there.
럼블 노공임.
럼블 노공에 루시안 풀 빠진 것 같아.
버프 그냥 드레이븐 쪽에 주고 버렴을 밀어올래? 나 버프
나 피업 하면서 뭐.
피업 하면서 봐. 아 이거 럼블 솔로. 그냥 버프 줬고.
한번 더블리자.
그냥 타워 치면 얘네 알아서 기어 나오긴 하. 나 버프 1초 지우나?
자, 누구?
버프 있고. 나 커져라 6초. 피가 안 좋아. 커져라 들어왔고. 커져라 끝날 수 있어. 알리 끝날 수 있고.
flashing over the wall into immediately question pinging.
The question mark ping under Paze was actually, that was the moment.
That was, in Overchief, like play of the game. That was the play of the game. That right there.
It was it.
This question mark pings is again. I don't know if they went over and asked. I love that joke.
Yeah, I actually watched Coach Kim and Ryu having a conversation backstage, and I'm pretty sure I saw a shake of the head from Coach Kim. So I think that like the question didn't actually get asked. I lied. I did not see that happen at all. It may have happened though, because I am not omnipresent.
Misinformation?
Well, no, it could have theoretically happened. I just cannot confirm that it happened or not, for I do not have CCTV vision of what's happening in LoL Park. Because that would be weird, and I wouldn't be a human anymore. All right, we've got Rumble locked in once again. The bans are the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so GENG, it's not on them, but maybe from this point on, the Shyvana Lucian maybe isn't going to be the right bans.
I'm just sad we had
picks.
like a patch of Canyon picking fun champions.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that 80 mates were also good, it was the back and forth. Come on, Keen, do it. You know you want to. You already had the one counter pick. Now give him another. Do it.
This
Keen.
is one of Keen's favorites. Well, they'll lock it in. All right, we are realm warping.
Okay.
The Zeri pick away?
Oh, yeah, actually, you kind of have to. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's a very good choice.
Duro's Rakan going to come in as well. So we'll see what GENG are going to respond with here. Could be an 80 carry just to make sure that they get something that is relatively high up on the tier list. I would like to see, I don't know, like a Misfortune, something like that. That'd be fun.
I like MF. I think MF, Ryze, Maokai also feels great. Feels like a solid combo.
Oh, you just pick Corki, I guess.
This is the worst timeline. I've seen so many Chovy Corki games. I don't need more.
Well, now they can ban Lucian, and so it is a pretty free Corki.
It is. I think it's a good choice. I don't expect Closer to pull out the Draven or the more aggressive style of picks. As that is actually a great... Yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe you let him play Lucian and you go, it's fine. I don't care about the counter pick. We'll ban Yone and Yasuo and leave it at that.
Well,
so
that might be what they do.
Kalista and MF? Kalista Leona, maybe?
It might be the Kalista Senna, because they're still worried about the flex potential.
Yeah, that's what they did last year, and that could be good. I like that as well.
Because you can also then just pick Shyvana on 4 if you wanted to.
But if they don't ban Senna, then Canyon can R5 the Shyvana.
Or R4 the Shyvana.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, they could. They could. That'd be fun. I would love that. That'd be entertaining.
I don't know whether our spacers would like it very much. I don't know whether we should do it to Valdez. As Senna is going to be banned once again, I really do like it.
It's not happening.
I mean, it still can be support Maokai. You never know. There's a Lucian lock-in. There's a Lucian lock-in. There's a Lucian.
Lucianami.
I guess
Zeri Rakan. Haven't seen that one in a while.
What about solo lane Rakan so we can get Zeri Lulu back? We're going to need it.
Oh, you can play top and then just roam.
Hey,
yeah,
there you go.
Buy the support item, which doesn't work anymore. Wait, why is there a... Why? No, what?
So, Talia Lee Sin. Lee Sin.
I would have liked, if you end up going that direction, I would have liked Ahri. I don't like Talia with this top side.
Yeah, I feel like there's also...
Rumble is just kind of... Xin Zhao's great, actually.
Yeah, Xin's good.
Xin's good. Xin works. I like Xin Zhao a lot more. And there is the Lucianami. So Paze and Lands are just like, we'll just play another bot lane, I guess. Why not? This one hasn't been popular for a while, but we're bringing it back.
And it also denies the counter pick in mid lane as well. So Chovy is going to be without the closer Lucian to deal with. And I think that he'll probably be happily navigating the Talia matchup quite well. Although Closer has been decent on this pick, I do feel like you're not able to really put the screws in that mid lane early on. And so Chovy should be able to have that shove. Keen sort of built the Ryze counter pick into Rumble over like 6 years or something like that in the top lane. He's always sort of had that one in his back pocket. Looking forward to seeing whether it's rusty or not. He's probably dusted it off in scrims, given just how powerful Rumble has been recently. Something that he's been more than happy to pick up. As it's upside down, quickly.
Yay!
Yeah, there we go, nailed it.
All the way from Busan.
Yeah.
Young LCK fan, very cool to see.
And of course, has to be a BNK fan because Busan Bank, of course. So going to be representing his home region. Kind of cool there. So B&K, they took away the Zeri. They now have the Taliyah and the Xin Zhao for some pretty powerful mid-jungle synergy there. They still have the Rumble, which is very strong. I just also don't think it matters what GENG has, because they're just really good.
They're just GENG.
Yeah, and they may just GENG again here in this game. We'll have to keep track with the amount of kills the Pays is going to pick up in this game. It could be breaking some records. Jump into the Rift, Game 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the Rift for game number 2. See whether B&K can find some early footing here, as already Pays with an ardent blaze. We'll try to erase Henna. My poem got started well.
I thought you were going to spit bars, Atlas. I was ready.
I am a commentator and not a poet.
That's a lot of ways you can go, you know. Dismay, delay.
I mean, they are words that rhyme, but
yeah,
did
but
it work with the sentence?
No, but you can just... I know you can find a way.
you just did.
You gotta just believe in yourself, Atlas. Come on.
I still remember that episode of Pokemon where Brock says that he was a poet and he didn't even know it. And I thought that was where the quote originated from. It definitely wasn't where the quote originated from, Chronicler.
It's not?
No.
Where does it originate from? I don't know.
I think it's basically a cliche.
Oh.
It's been around forever.
Oh, so it's one of those things where no one knows. As actually really nicely done here by Keen. Gets a ward in the middle brush, meaning that he just starts off the trades very nicely. So normally the way this goes is you just have 0 kill pressure and you get outskilled. The last time we saw Keen play it as well, I don't know if it was this MSI or last year at Worlds. I know he definitely pulled it out in one of the 2 situations. Ended up being fine in lane. It basically just neutralizes lane because Ryze's wave clear is so insanely good, particularly once he finishes his first item. And then your Ryze, so the amount of damage you output in later fights is absolutely exceptional. Does look like he didn't go Resolve. I really like the Resolve 3-second on Ryze because you naturally become so beefy already, you know, because of all the shielding you end up getting. So a little sad that that's not the case.
Well, Pays is going to get interrupted here a little bit, but Duro only level 2. Does have to use the heal, as we do have double defensive summoners on both sides, so no ignites, no exhausts or anything like that. It's just heal barriers and cleanse heals.
Wow, the cleanse is interesting. The cleanse is literally only for like whatever slows there might be and the charm from Duro.
Yeah, I think it's actually just for charm.
Yeah.
So that he can cleanse flash. As it was KT that was able to take out Zeus, as this was playoffs. I think I remember this game as well. This was that was a fun one. Keen pulling out his Ryze once again. Does like to pick it into certain matchups. Gragas one of them, and the Rumble the other.
If you're a GENG fan, you didn't catch a lot of Keen's games, and you watched the first like couple of weeks of spring, and you're like, man, his Cassandra is so good, but I'm a little worried. What if we get a meta shift? Because you might not know, you know, like maybe...
Yeah, King can only play tanks.
Yeah.
I remember when that was like a weird narrative. That was very strange. I'm like, but Keen's a Gangplank main. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah,
Odd times.
Keen's been around for a while. He's played a lot. That's why we got the cool 10th to 1st graphic. He's literally done it all, and he might get ganked and die.
He might. He is Ryze. Doesn't necessarily have the largest amount of mobility.
Oh, he's phase rushing, but he's thinking about going back in. Good wave state.
Yeah, this is...
Set up here by Clear, actually. This is rough.
Not looking good.
Oh, look at that. The reinforcement tree is on his way.
Now he's trying to sidle his way up here, but it is going to be
it's pushing
Keen
back.
out of the woods.
Yeah.
Now the wave is bouncing, like you were saying. Playing very respectfully, though, as we know, as Rune Prison does go down. Clear still winning out on these trades quite well. And very early on in the game, of course, Ryze doesn't necessarily have the most power.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. You're really just playing him to clear waves early, and then eventually you get so much wave clear. And we did see there, also whenever Clear tries to go in for Flame Spitter trades, especially if you get an early Rune Prison, makes it quite hard.
Bubble going to connect onto Duro. Double tap.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
Oh, Pays really wanted to kill that ward. going to be able to take that one out as well, as this wave is just going to be shoved into Henna and Duro. Of course, Henna is a pretty notable Zeri player, has really liked this ever since his bro days. And so feeling like this is a whole lot of comfort for him. However, he is down a couple of waves because the Lucian Nami is just going to be a little bit stronger in the early game, you could say, than a Rakan and Zeri. That has been, you know, one of the more successful Zeri lanes, but I feel like it's more successful when it's not against an Enchanter support.
Yeah, and it's also the reason, the trade we always used to see, and I think that's why the matchup has a lot more power, is the Zeri Lulu. Because Lulu is a genuine bully early on, and Rakan just doesn't have a lot of pressure in lane, and if you try to go in, you know, Lehens can self-bubble. Paze obviously is a very slippery target, so you just don't really have the same presence. I like the call, buy in that regard as well. Just try to mitigate as much of the laning pressure as you can. The problem obviously is that we haven't seen Lucian Nami in quite a while, but GENG plays really well around getting priority and moving around to objectives and managing their wave states. Lucian Nami, the reason why it was popular for like, I don't know, how long was it? Like 2 years?
Quite some time, yeah.
Started off with like the electrocute Nami. That used to be a thing. It was disgusting.
The Imperial Mandate abuse?
Yeah, back when, yeah, and then you could like sell stuff and just hit that. It was disgusting. And now they're more of a mid-range pick. That said, Paze is sitting on the BF sword right now, and he's obviously still a big threat, and BNK needs to respect him.
Yeah, that is a decent first back purchase, you could say. But it's also decent that BNK were able to collect themselves some grubs. It's going to give them some extra pushing power if they can actually get towards some of the turrets. Valkyrie just to get out of the way of the seismic shove. Chovy not going to get stunned up or anything like that, as the Drake is going to be the trade. So Canyon picking that one up. Next one going to be a Cloud. No Cloud Soul, which is a bit sad for me, but I do like Earth, Wind, and Fire, and it would be in order if it is going to be an Infernal Soul. And so that'd be absolutely fantastic. And we're getting towards September, you know? It's only 1 more month away.
Will be nice. Maybe also the end of summer in Korea. Korean summer is not great, everyone.
Oh, it's also just putrid right now. It is so incredibly humid all the time. As Canyon, I believe, just stole away some Krugs.
Yep, Smite on cooldown. I'm sure he got it.
Yep, Pay's also going to be able to grab a plate, understanding that there is a tree in the vicinity. Duro and Henna just not feeling like they are ready to tango in the 3v3. Good
Very
bubble.
different game, Atlas. This one is feeling like it's an actual game.
This
That's
one
fun.
is not as completely over this early.
Yeah. We need to give it like 10 more minutes. Generally, GENG aren't necessarily... They don't have to pop off in lane. You know, they have plenty of time to make the big plays. They are still winning their lanes, as is expected, outside of top. But Keen is double scaling. So this is with the Rise, you go Rod of Ages, pick up a Seraphs, and then once those two hit, you are already insanely strong. You just kind of keep going from there on.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice 2-item spike. You do kind of want to get the Rod of Ages to, you know, max stacks and stuff like that, get it up to 10, get that extra level, and then really feel the power that way. But the thing is, I feel like Rod of Ages is an incredible win more item as well. Like, if you're able to get it to 10 and you're already winning, you probably... Okay, Closer is in a little bit of trouble here, as Chovy is going to get shoved back through some rocks and straight up does not care about it.
To be fair, Chovy is sitting on the damage items of Call and Tear.
It's not. Yeah, he does have a long sword as well, I'll have you know.
Yeah, I'm being a bit facetious, as we might have a play here. Oh no, just going to cancel. Closer was also only sitting on Lucidity Boots and Tier, so there's a little bit of fake news.
Yep. Still, plate goes over to Chovy, so it's going to equalize with the plates that Paze has been able to pick up already this game. So the 280 carries are feeling pretty strong at this point in time.
I wonder if Henna and Duro want to look for an all-in when once Duro does hit level 6. We see Canyon already and making his way over, lumbering tree
Indeed.
towards the bot side, but Duro, even with hitting 6.
Oh, really nice seismic shovers. There's a flash out from Chovy. He's going to respect it this time around. And these caster creeps are going to be going. Chovy doesn't have teleport available either, but man, King finishing the Rod of Ages here. Pre-10 minutes, not a bad clip for the Rise, who has been farming pretty much on par. In fact, both him and Clear were going pretty pound for pound when it comes to that sort of farm. as that is a plate going over to closer. So B&K pulling it back just a little bit here as Raptor looks for a potential dive.
Man, Closer's laning phase has gotten so much better than like a couple of weeks ago.
Looking pretty good, yeah.
Obviously, getting the better end of Chovy is quite huge, but even a champion that I know he's gotten kind of come around on Closer to Leah, but it was definitely not his standout initially. It's kind of, again, so many of the things I say about Closer, I'm like, didn't I say that before about Zeka? And we probably did.
Yep. Valkyrie to get Chovy out of this one. So does need to just make sure he's pressing W whenever the seismic shove does come out. Seems to be the only real answer.
Yeah, so we've now gotten to the point where the trades are no longer fun for Clear. And he needs to respect Keen, and it's not going to get better from here on out. So Keen got through the early game, not even unscathed, he's just even.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of damage that was done to him.
And they're also just farming exceptionally well. Just sort of everyone on the side of GENG, but also just Clear and Keen themselves. Will be a very strong Rumble, but also a very strong Rise, like you were talking about. Now GENG looking to try and grab themselves some grubs. First one already going over to Raptor here. Does mean that they do have the stack of 4, but Canyon is able to get the 5th, so they will be able to deny. Duro coming on in here.
Yeah, so the problem here is that Hayes roamed.
Oh, that's a flash twisted advance. The quickness comes out from Duro. He will be able to escape, but that is that was a bit of a jump scare.
I don't mind that. Like, drawing a little bit of extra time, gets an extra play. You trade flash for flash. I'd rather have flash on my Rakan, probably, with how these compositions play out, because it is the sole engage tool that you have, and Canyon, the Maokai I don't think is as flash reliant, even though GENG's engage is great. I don't think it matters nearly as much. Ow. Nice trade there by Clear, and that is with Merc Treads. So, obviously, I think Merc Treads into Maokai Rise, it feels a little bit more excusable. I know
it still doesn't feel good.
It doesn't, no. And we know Huni would be very upset about it, so I do think we need to mention it at least a little bit.
Yep, hearts go out to Huni. Maybe he's, you know, he's just doing military stuff and not actually watching this game, and so he's not hurt by it. And that would be helpful. But if you are watching Huni, we miss you. As Canyon, he's going in. There's not very many of his friends around, though, so he's just going to back away. Looks like it's going to be this dragon going on over to B&K. That is the secure from Raptor, who's continuing to play forward. I really like how this Zen is being executed. An Earth, Wind, and Fire, baby! You love to see it. Infernal Drake, some cinders on the ground. Everything is just for us.
It was
Beautiful.
also in the actual order, which is
yeah,
very
that's
rare.
what I'm saying. Yeah, it's really good.
That's amazing. Love that. What a great day, Atlas.
Heck yeah, we're going to groove tonight. Tell you that much.
Are we?
Yeah, it's one of...
no, I know it's one of the songs, but...
Yeah.
I was just going to go home. I ordered some new ingredients. Really excited to make a nice marinade.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I reckon you can groove to a good marinade.
You know what? I can groove to a good marinade.
Absolutely.
Tonight when I'm making my marinade, I'll put that song on. Just
you know what? I might actually get you the vinyl of one of the Banger Earth Fire albums.
I would kind of love that. That would be great.
I reckon that was
like, a good
could you imagine making a marinade with that on? Oh, baby. That'd be the goods. We're being a little bit distracted here as there's some action. Canyon going to have to push Raptor back. Audacious charge on cooldown means that he's not going to be able to follow up. And GENG in a little bit of a lull at this point in time. Does make a little bit of sense with a Rise that wants to stack everything up, right? We're still waiting for Trinity Force, and we're not waiting anymore. Chovy just completes it, teleports back to the lane. And so the Corki feeling pretty good right now. Looks like GENG going for a potential dive angle, or at least an answer here as Duro in a whole host of trouble. But is still going to be able to make it out. He does have a lot of mobility, given the fact that he's Rakan, so he'll survive, but still has to use the heal.
In the short term, not the best to trade. You are going to lose the turret. Getting both Sums of Pace, though, is quite good. The problem is that looking at GENG's comp, Pace isn't really the focal point, because there's also a Corki and there's also Rise. Also, don't know about defending this, but it looks like they are standing their ground. And with the double red buff, no ult on Canyon, they will be okay. So B&K actually doing a much better job than last time around. And I'm sure the space is going to mention this as well, but I feel like Raptor on a jungler with presence is looking great. Right place at the right time. And honestly, I think Zinza really is one of those junglers that dropped out of meta for reasons that make sense, because AP junglers kind of took over. That's not really where he excels, trying to play into those. But you know, with all the tanks coming back, I feel like Xin Zhao should follow suit, which probably means eventually we'll get back to Keen out his Kazakhs, which is inexplicably insanely good and one of the highest win rate champions where he has actually played a lot of games. And I love watching it because I don't understand it on a fundamental level.
It's one of those things that it does feel like a learning experience, doesn't it? As Lehens is going to come down looking for the bubble here onto Clear, not going to find it as there's an explosion. Pei's taking a lot of damage here, but does just relentlessly escape. That is going to be Rift Herald taken by a Raptor, though, continuing this aggression. And Chovy is on an inner turret, because of course he is. And speaking of turrets, King going to try and defend his outer. Cinder going to be picked up here as he's running pretty quickly, but spots the fact that this Rift Herald is immediately going down. 3 members moving into the top lane as he flashes to get out of the way of the grand entrance. And there is the Realm Warp. That's going to get him out of there. Still he loses the turret, but he doesn't lose his life. And they're going to trade the outer turret in mid lane for this as well. As Clear, oh, he's going to cancel his own back. Chovy was waiting for that one, and he's being very patient, as we can see. Waiting for a teleport angle, waiting for a way to get in here, as Clear is able to get himself out of the way. Scrap shield in hand, as Chovy be able to at least make his escape. But that's an inner turret going over.
Yeah, no, that's a win for BNK. Nicely done by Keen. I was going to make some grand statement like Keen saw those coming. But back when Raptor was still in, I don't know, elementary school, Keen was dodging gangs, but they still win the trade, so I don't feel like it has the same gravitas. Nicely done. Great use of the Herald. Good that Keen got out. Also means that our first blood still nowhere to be found.
Ooh, even later than our previous series?
Yeah.
My goodness.
That's surprising.
Maybe we could have a game with 0 kills. We've still never had one before.
Yeah, but that never should happen, right? Because the team should at some point just be like, okay, we're going in. Even
what if you've just decided that you're not as strong as the opposition and you just stay on the fountain?
But you still have to.
Got to protect that KDA. As this was sick. Gets himself out. Easy peasy. Doesn't even react.
That's my favorite part about Keen. If that was Lehens, who were like, I'm the best. All of you, look at me.
Or he's just shrieking the whole time. As, all right, Pei's could be in trouble. He does get over the wall as the grand entrance is good. Pei's going to get taken down. That is first blood, and that's to the Zeri. This is great news for BNK, as they are also even in gold at this point in time. Dragon coming up, and it's a pretty good one. They're already 1 Drake apiece as well, as it's going to be spawning here, and immediately Raptor's going to start that one up. Doesn't have flash. Clear on a great flank angle, though. Banana Brush control comes in. All right, can this equalizer be the game changer? There it is, it goes down. He's trying to get rid of them as the tidal wave is decent. And Keen is just singled out and destroyed. It's a second one for Henna. As now Canyon wanting to be able to steal this Drake away. He's not able to get there. The 1-2 punch was decent. He even tries to go for the flash over the wall, but he's still gonna die. And that is 3 kills to nothing in favor of BNK.
And you know where those kills went, Atlas? They went to Zeri!
Are we certifying a wolf? I don't know.
I'm not the expert. I'm going to defer to Wolf on this one, but I got a feeling that it might be the case. That's huge. It just starts off with a mistake. That's a ruler spot I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Feels safe because there are a lot of teammates there, but there's just too much, right? There's too much follow-up. Actually really nicely done. They use the...
Yeah, the Rakan delivery system.
Exactly. Well done there by Raptor, the one who delivers the Rakan, allowing for the cooldowns to be there. And then this is definitely an optimistic contest, and it's clear that I think ends up being the big difference maker. Even though the damage that he does isn't necessarily that high, it's the distraction, the cooldowns that go into him. And then here, GENG, so desperate for the Dragon. Goes to 92, so it's definitely not the cleanest setup, but gets another flash. Bunch of cooldowns used, and that's a lot of gold going over here to BNK and the Dragon as well.
Yeah, Raptor now able to take this Rift Scuttler as well. Canyon just trying to clear out vision where he can. And I think that GENG might think twice before going for any more 3 versus 5s.
Probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I think that's sounds like a good move.
I'm happy to see this. I think this is a BNK.
All right, there's another tidal wave to come on through there, but Raptor not going to get hit by the bubble. Duro still just taking so much damage here as the Crescent Guard comes in, and there's the flash forward from Chovy. Doesn't find the big one as Duro does escape. But now Clear is on a flank angle as the Realm Warp is going to get Keen in here. Seismic Shove not going to find the mark, but Canyon will follow closer. That's a long journey, and GENG looking a little bit worse for wear, and will keep themselves alive, but so will BNK. even though most of their flashes are now on cooldown. The most important summoner spell hasn't been claimed, but it's the only one.
Yeah, Henna still has his flash, but as you point out, Atlas, so much other cooldowns used there, and there's also the fallout, right? Chovy going to be able to pick up a turret here. We'll see how much more CS they're able to deny, but the gold that even, still a big win, but in this upcoming Dragon fight, which might be the first one, maybe we'll see if GENG want to go for a Baron, try and flip. Ends up being a bit of a rough one. Really nicely done here initially by Raptor and Duro to just take the heat without actually going down. Chovy flashing, but this equalizer actually does a nice job of splitting, so there's a lot of cooldowns already down. That blast cone, I don't know if Clear would have died, but he might have taken someone with him, and then Keen does an incredible amount of damage. As you pointed out, Kenyon goes on a merry jaunt that he probably didn't want to go on, and ends up making it out alive. And Chovy wasn't even at peak strength, and he's about to hit that. He's going to be even stronger.
Oh, Lehan's possibly caught out. There's a good tidal wave, but the Crescent Guard does come in. That is fish food now as Canyon will be able to push back Raptor, and they immediately get their revenge. The culling comes down as well as there is flux on them. And GENG looking for some more angles. Kane just really wants to get in range of that Rune Prison. Does get his Seraph Shield, but he'll be taken out. It's another one for Henna. 5-0-0 for this Zeri. And Twisted advance now for Canyon to try and get him out of there. He does punch closer, but he's still going to die. That is 6 kills now for the Zeri for BNK.
Literally every single kill is going to Henna. And GENG, after last game, I think the happy game mentality was still there. But this game isn't happy. You're not winning. You're not ahead. You can't make the same plays that you did last time around. And I'm so happy to see BNK punish them, as this is the proactive play from Raptor to come through. Him and Duro have been incredible, man. 7 kills for Henna to knock down. And yeah, they end up taking down Raptor. But then again, GENG, they chase really deep into enemy territory. And
oh, that harpoon from Clear, actually game changer.
Yeah, look at the slow. So hard for Keen to get anything done. Then because of that equalizer, they can't really walk out. And so much damage comes down. I'm pretty impressed by what BNK are doing. Yes, GENG clearly having a bit too much fun with this. I'm playing messy. But in the last game, BNK was completely unable to capitalize. This time around, I think they're in a good spot. The only thing now is to ensure that Henna doesn't die. Because if he goes down, that's all your gold, BNK. So keep him safe. And we might be getting to a game number 3. And BNK taking game of GENG.
That would be absolutely massive. The only other team that's been able to do it was DK. And then they were pretty quickly dispatched after that.
They have a passive. You know, it's not fair. They just sometimes do that.
Yeah, and that's just, it's the theme. But it's not really a theme for BNK versus GENG.
There is still Chovy. That's the main reason why we're like,
yeah.
Oh, apprehensive. Keen also just hit his 2-item power spike. And they're also going to just get a free dragon, which I think makes sense. BNK get some backs in here.
A little bit trained towards the top side of the map as well. They have a lot of vision around the Baron, as we can see there. Still flanked by a couple of control wards that GENG have put down, but that is 2 Drakes apiece. As GENG will share the Infernal.
Also like Duro going for the Redemption.
Yeah.
I know that we saw a bunch of supports still go for Warmox Rush even after the nerfs. I think Redemption, particularly into a composition that really heavily relies on burst like GENG, actually quite valuable. Unfortunately, they don't have like a jungler that can also go lock it. That would be even better, but
pretty impressive that Closer's done more damage than Henna in this game, even though Henna is a 3-item 6-0-0-0.
Yup. It's been a lot of lost hitting. He's been playing well, though.
Yeah, he has. And it's a little bit more harass in lane as well, as the wall does come down. They do manage to get the ulti out of Canyon, as Lehans can't be taking those, but at least Ebb and Flow is able to get his health back up relatively high. There's a bit of a rotation over here for BNK. Keen possibly needing to be a little bit apprehensive as he's moved down towards the bottom side as Pays just throws the culling at them. That is a lot of softening here onto BNK, but now they look to try and turn it onto Pays. Crescent Guard comes in, Lehans is flashing away. Seismic Shot will miss, but Clear finds the flank angle. The bottom lane has been destroyed, and now it could be the Baron angle here for BNK. Keen, I mean, what's he supposed to do about it? He doesn't even have teleport.
And it's the bottom lane going in way too aggressive. Pays thinks he's safe. That TP from Clear again, absolutely pivotal. And that's just going to be Nash. That's just the reality. There's nothing that GENG can do. They got an inner, but that's not the trade that you want to take. And GENG looking out of sorts in this one.
Yeah, this aggressive Lucian play. I mean, Pace does a lot of work with the culling, but then this dash forward punished instantly.
Yeah, dashes forward, gets immediately engaged on by Raptor, and then that ward right there behind the pit. Because if Lucian is alive, like, and maybe if he can reunite with Chovy and with Canyon, that could be enough to kind of turn the tides of battle. That's not going to be the case. And I think GENG, every single play has just been them going in like 2v4,
yeah.
3v5. And you're playing into Taliyah. You're playing in the Rumble. These champions have a large amount of effective range. You need to respect it. And they just haven't been. And BNK might actually be able to do it, Atlas. What a upset that would be. Even just the game. Like, that alone.
Absolutely.
An incredible feat. And right now, they're not looking too bad. Just need to, again, make sure it doesn't get taken down in these fights.
Well, Bro fans sweating right now. As, of course, if BNK can win this series, Bro are eliminated from playoff contention.
Really?
That's what it hinges on.
Always Bro.
Absolutely. As GENG on the ropes. Going to be a Nature's Grasp. Flash immediately comes out here from Canyon. Tidal Wave as well. That is a couple of very big ultimates, especially the disengage variety. Just now on cooldown, as we have 2 minutes left on the Drake. Out of turret in mid lane, certainly a good prize here for BNK as the Rebel Baron power play moves to about 2.2k. And Chovy's still just casually farming and things like that. I still think that this is going to be a rough one for BNK to close out.
Yeah,
just with the amount of wave clear and stuff like that that GENG has. And it's GENG, you can never really count them out. But still, everything that they've done so far has been just fantastic.
I just love games that show that you can't disrespect even the mid-tier LCK teams.
Absolutely.
You know, I feel like that's a lesson that a lot of our top-tier teams often forget.
This is so much AoE damage to come out from Keen, but he's also just going to get pummeled. The tower gets taken down, and he just couldn't be there.
So that's a really good example of not respecting a mid-tier opponent when they have a lead.
Yeah.
Like, that's right there. That was it. That was
yeah.
the moment where he just like, I can defend this. No, you cannot defend this turret, Keen. There's 4 people there.
Yeah.
Just let him have it.
Yeah. And now he's got a Bladed Jewel. Does still have the Arm Guard. I don't know whether he just purchased that one, but maybe he was like, that could perhaps be a good idea. So now they move up to 3,000 gold in the Rebel Baron power play as it ticks down to about 10 seconds to go. Is now Weaver's Wall to try and catch out Paze. Closer is still going to take half of his health bar as Paze does respectable damage, especially now that these 3 items have been completed. Big spike there as far as the damage.
Yeah, it does have IE,
carry.
so you do definitely need to be a little bit respectful. And this is the key point. This is going to be the breaking point, I do think. The Baron has run out. BNK have priority to this objective. Every single fight that they've won has been, I think, often with a number advantage and snap engages from Dura and Raptor.
Yeah.
And that's how they're going to have to win it this time around as well. Everyone on GENG is there. The lead is big, but not insurmountable. And GENG.
Oh, I like this from BNK. Instead, just try and shove into this inner turret. Drake is going to get started up. Keen is still over here, does have Realm Warp available, so he's kind of countered this little split opportunity. Raptor taking so much damage, my God. So the fact that Chovy's there is a dangerous part, but Keen is now going to get wiped out. Let's see whether Raptor can actually get himself in there as Hannah goes down so incredibly low. The Drake still being fought over here as it is going to be secured by BNK, but can they win the fight? Duro tries to get in the back line, but Pace just double taps him. Still it's a double kill for Closer as Keen's teleported into the fight. Closer flashes away though, keeps himself alive, and it's only Duro that's been taken down. So much damage to come out of Clear. A phenomenal Zhonya's, but another one from Keen as well is going to be the response to Q. It misses Henna, and that is going to keep him alive in this battle, but it's a double kill for Paze. Can he actually win this one out is the question, and can they actually find any extra kills? Because BNK, they got what they came for.
And that's a free for free, but you'll take that if you're BNK because they got the Dragon. As you're saying, that is even more damage going into them. And it's Dura and Raptor, man. What a complete turnaround.
Yeah.
From Raptor, who is showing us the dangers of picking Shyvana. Actually, I was a little bit skeptical of this initial setup here because of the fact that Keen is going to join so much later. And then look, BNK, that ultimate does a lot of damage. Chovy, the failed flash, doesn't actually get over the wall in a very awkward spot in the pit. And then here, the burst damage. The fact that this is close, I think, is testament to GenG's team fighting. The fact that they're able to get so much damage out of Keen. You see the tankiness with the shield from Seraphs. That ends up getting the flash as well. But even then, like Hannah, this is an 8, or at this point 7-0 Zeri. And that was an even trade in terms of the team fight.
Yeah.
But by the end, it's still BNK winning, right? Like, they're the one that got the objective. They didn't give up any of the major shutdowns.
And the only thing that they need to be worried about is the fact that, you know, Paze is getting towards item number 4. There's going to be Infinity Edge on Chovy here, as we can see. Henna not taking that much damage from him, as he does have his shield bow now done.
I wish he would have gone for a little bit more damage. Honestly, I feel like that fight, if he, like, I think just BT or shield bow would have been enough. When you have redemption,
go IE after that.
Yeah, exactly. That little bit of extra burst could be the difference maker as they're going to start it up. That is a risk against GenG, but there's no vision. Look at this.
Yeah, absolutely no way. They do manage to utilize a trinket to try and get some vision in there. Realm Warp is going to be available here for Keen. If they do want to get over, Closer takes a fair bit of damage, but the wall can't really be broken down. Now the Nature's Grasp comes in. Canyon not going to be in the pit to try and secure this Baron, but there's the double kill for Paze. They've got the Baron, but can they keep themselves alive? It's a triple kill for Paze. Don't tell me he's going to get a penta in this game of all things. It's Lahens that steals it. And GenG will now march up the mid lane. Oh, don't tell me the game's over. Oh, don't tell me it's over.
Are you kidding me, Atlas?
Oh, B&K doesn't deserve this.
Look at that smug face from
Oh, they did so well.
Stole the penta. He
And
gets the
even
win.
the GenG fans, just a bit of a golf clap here in this moment, because that's a clean ace.
3 kills off on Pace. 3 kills, Atlas.
It's all right. We can celebrate the 1,000 in the next match. That was so well played by B&K. GenG just found the right angle on the Baron fight. Canyon in that moment, that Nature's Grasp was about the most perfect that you can possibly get. And the fact that they keep themselves in it for so incredibly long.
Who do I vote for? Like that?
Canyon?
I guess for the press R. Is it just Lahens? Because I don't know.
I think it's Canyon. I'd vote for
Yeah, yeah, sure.
When in doubt, Canyon.
Because I know Paze came back in the game, but he also threw the game, so I feel like I can't in good conscience.
Yeah, no, after that dash forward, that's
no, I know.
That's
but
then
the fights after that were, I guess it's just the tree.
Maybe it's Lahens for stealing the
Oh my god, is it just Chovy?
No, maybe.
He did.
I think
he did into least, Atlas. He was very clean.
So there's a couple of rules, and that is...
Oh, look at this! This is heartbreaking!
Yeah, honestly, like, I'd be about that dumbfounded as well, and in fact, I am. Because B&K won, and then they lost. Congrats on 601 there for Lahens, and he had a great day today. But yeah.
I'm so sad. Why do 2 of these? First bro go up, and then don't get a win against DRX, and now this.
Okay, do you want some good news?
Yeah.
Bro is still in it, baby. They're still in it. Okay.
I should have not said yes.
The bro leaf in chat must have been so powerful that B&K couldn't hold themselves together during that Baron team fight.
Well, they definitely couldn't. And you know what? No, I'm not going to do the... I think B&K, they just got outplayed because GenG is just that damn good. And sometimes that's just how it goes. They got so close, but there's a reason why GenG has dropped a single game in the LCK. And it's because you can't make a single mistake.
Yeah.
Like, look how much stuff they did
But also,
right.
like, you can work this hard and get these leads, but you won't stop them from farming. That's the biggest problem. So the gold gap was never even that large.
Like 3K at most?
Yeah. And that was with, like, 4,000 gold Red Bull Baron power play, right? Like, there is a lot of stuff that B&K were able to take, a lot of snowball that they were able to push down the mountain. Unfortunately, it's just, it feels like you can't stop Chovy from, you know, mid-game demolishing side waves, the fact that Keen was able to still do so as well. And even though you have moments like that where Chovy flashes into a wall, you need to do that every single fight. Otherwise, they will just out DPS you.
And we see it, the damage to come through.
And also, there's the other factor of it just being so much pressure on these players' shoulders when they're against GENG.
The aura that comes with it, right? The knowledge of what this team has done. And I like looking at this as well. Amazing ultimate from Canyon, but also just the call to just go for the fight, right? Everything gets thrown into Zeri. As we said, once Hannah's dead, that's the end of it.
And it wasn't even the bubble that stole it as well as Pays loses his mind and Lens is just giggling. Oh, it's fantastic. I didn't know to get the kill, says Lens.
Yeah, sure you did.
Yeah,
this is a special team, Atlas, in many ways.
Oh, yeah.
And let the record show, I think BNK, that first game obviously was rough. This team, I hope they make playoffs. I think they've shown us moments. I think they have leveled up over the course of the summer split. Duro clearly, together with Raptor, they've kind of transferred. Look at Closer today. Look at Hannah today. But it's GENG, and sometimes even that's not good enough. Look at that goal graph.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
I'm actually kind of, so the blue part of the goal graph, by the way, is normally the winning team's sort of goal graph looking thing, but you saw it plummet towards the end there. GENG were able to get themselves a little bit of an advantage in gold before they destroyed the enemy Nexus. But that was a classic Scar example of they were winning until they lost.
That was a happy game. That's what that was from GENG, and I really...
I don't know whether they're going to be that happy after the game.
They're not, and I really wish BNK would have won, but here we are. GENG's just a little bit too good when it comes to the fights.
Yep, sometimes you just get GENG, so unfortunately, BNK are going to go down. But now it is time for us to throw it over to the space to break that one.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jisun for the POG interview translation, and today I'm here joined by the solo POG on the side of GENG, Pays, after their victory up against BNK Fear X. Congratulations on the win. Pays, you have achieved a 13-match winning streak with today's victory. How do you feel about this win? I'm glad to be able to continue the win streak. And additionally, you have reached 900 POG points and are now in the first place. How do you feel about that? I think it's been a very long while since I was the POG leader, so I hope I can stay on top. Game number 1, GENG created a 10,000k gold difference in under 20 minutes in the first game. It was a pure dominance. What do you think was the key to that game? I think we were able to round out a really good bottom carry comp, and I think opponents didn't really have any tools to stop the carry coming from the bottom lane. So it was a very smooth sailing game for us. And then GENG, maybe because you guys were a little bit too ahead, there was a moment where you seemed a little bit too excited. Now, let's take a look at this replay. I mean, I thought this was a doable play, and then I tried to save Lihan's. And then actually Lucian dashed on the right side of the map. I was not trying to go over the wall actually. I was also flustered at the moment. I was not intending to go over the wall. I just trying to kind of zone out by using my dash, but somehow I hit the wall and I went over the wall, but it was not intended. And we were also able to hear from Lihan's and Chovy as well after that play. You know, you were just going all in for that kill, but I guess you are not actually greedying for the kill, right? Absolutely not. And then, game 2, we saw a return of Lucia Nami composition on the bottom lane. A very rarely seen duo these days. What do you think is that?
있다고 생각하는데 뭐
due to, you know, recent patches
워머그 이런 게
and also
상대로
the new items that's trending right now, like Warmogs or like Bloodthirster are pretty good into Lucian, you know. He can chunk down the damage, but also the opponents are keep getting their HP back. So Lucian was not a viable pick because of those new changes, but I thought looking at the comp today in game 2, Lucian was one of the good picks. Well, GENG was quite behind in the early game. How did you guys manage to turn the game around? Well, to be honest, I was scaling really well, so I was not too worried about it. And then there was one moment where I used all my spells and I got picked, and that was a little bit, you know, risky over there. So I think that kind of actually we dropped the ball over there, and I'm pretty aware of what went wrong and what was the biggest mistake. So I think we'll be able to do better. And now let's take a look at this almost penta moment, the 4 repeat kills. You were expecting a penta, right? After the double kill, I saw 2 other players being very low, so I was very, very sure. I was not expecting this steal, but also I would have thought I don't really deserve the penta as well because of me, our team had to also, you know, give away the Baron and stuff. So maybe it's a karma thing, you know. So you forgive Lihans? Yeah, for sure. And Lihan, speaking of your support, he now played his 600th LCK game. Any words of celebration for him? Yeah, congratulations on your 600th game in the LCK. It's been a very long while. It's a big honor to be able to play with such an experienced player, so I hope we can continue our journey together as long as possible. And Paige, you are also approaching a big milestone. You are just 3 kills away from 1,000 kills. Any regrets about not reaching it today? I mean, I can achieve that next game, and I actually would like to hit 1,000 kills with better performance next time. And speaking of next match, it is going to be the Saturday showdown up against T1. How do you plan to prepare for the match? We gotta prepare based on what we're good at. Also, T1, they always, you know, showcase a great performance, so we should not let our guards down and be fully ready for the matchup. And this will be the end of the interview from Pace, and back to the space. Thank you.